Be me. 27 years old, working as an accountant at a mid-sized firm that specializes in helping rich people avoid taxes legally. The moral implications are questionable, but the pay is decent enough to afford rent in this expensive-ass city. Moved into a new apartment 3 months ago after breaking up with my girlfriend of 4 years. She cheated with a guy from her CrossFit gym because apparently I wasn't adventurous enough. Whatever that means, I'm an accountant. Adventure is finding a tax loophole. The apartment is 1 bedroom, 4th floor, decent building in an okay neighborhood. Rent is only slightly soul-crushing instead of completely devastating. The place is fine, nothing special, but it's mine, and I don't have roommates, which matters after living with my ex. Neighbors seem normal enough at first, occasional nods in the hallway. They're the usual apartment building small talk about weather and package theft. There's this woman who lives across the hall in apartment 4A, probably mid-30s. She's always wearing these flowing dresses that look like she shops exclusively at Renaissance fairs. Lots of purple and deep blue, always has crystals hanging from her neck. Her name is Veronica, according to the mailbox, which somehow fits perfectly. She smiled at me once in the elevator and held eye contact for like 5 seconds. Not a normal smile duration. Definitely crossed into uncomfortable territory. Didn't think much of it at first. Some people are just socially awkward. I can relate. 2 weeks into living here, come home from work exhausted after dealing with the client who doesn't understand how tax brackets work. There's something sitting outside my door, right in front of the doormat. It's a small succulent plant in a handmade ceramic pot. The pot is beautifully made, glazed in this deep green color, has my apartment number painted on it in elaborate calligraphy. Like someone spent actual time and effort on this. Weird, but okay. Maybe the building management left welcome gifts for new tenants. Bring it inside, examine it closer. The craftsmanship is really good. Put it on the windowsill next to my dying ficus that I keep forgetting to water. The succulent is perfect for someone like me who forgets plants exist for weeks at a time. Next day after work, there's a note under my door. Didn't hear anyone put it there. Handwritten on fancy cream-colored paper that smells distinctly like lavender. Who the hell perfumes paper? The note says, "Welcome to the building. I'd hope you enjoy your new home and find peace here. From a friend." No signature, no apartment number, just a friend, written in the same elaborate calligraphy from the pot. Slightly weird but not alarming yet, probably just a nice neighbor doing a welcoming thing. Tell my friend Chris about it over lunch at our usual sandwich place. "Dude, someone left you a plant with a scented note?" "Yeah, handmade pot too, actually really nice quality." That's either really sweet or the beginning of a horror movie. You watch too many thrillers. Or you're not paranoid enough. This is definitely weird. It's a plant, Chris, not a severed head. Yet, it's not a severed head yet. He's always been dramatic, but he has a point about it being unusual. 3 days later, another gift appears outside my door. As this time it's homemade cookies in a decorative tin with stars hand-painted on the lid. The tin itself is clearly handmade. Someone put serious effort into this. Another note, same fancy paper, same lavender smell. "Thought you might enjoy these. Chocolate chip cookies are everyone's favorite. Hope they brighten your day, your friend." Okay, this is getting progressively weirder, but free cookies are free cookies. Try one. It's actually delicious. Perfectly baked. Just the right amount of chocolate chips and a hint of sea salt. Whoever this mystery person is can seriously bake. Bring some to work the next day. My coworker Jennifer tries one. "Oh my god, these are incredible. Where did you get them?" My mystery neighbor made them, apparently. You have a neighbor who just bakes you gourmet cookies? That's adorable. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, they won't tell me who they are. Maybe they're shy. You should leave a thank you note. Encourage them to reveal themselves. Decide to follow her advice. Write a note on regular paper because I don't have fancy lavender stationery. "Thank you for the plant and cookies. They're both great. Feel free to introduce yourself anytime. I'd like to know who my mysterious benefactor is." Put it on my door with tape before leaving for work in the morning. Come home that evening. The note is gone. Replaced with a new one in the familiar handwriting. "You're so welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I'll introduce myself soon. Just working up the courage. I get very nervous around new people, your friend." Nervous. Okay. So it's definitely someone shy with social anxiety. That's actually kind of relatable. I'm not great with new people either. And this continues for 2 full weeks, and the gifts keep escalating in both frequency and elaborateness. More items start appearing with increasing regularity, sometimes multiple times per week. A handmade bookmark with my initials embroidered on it in silver thread must have taken hours. A small canvas painting of the city skyline at sunset. Actually pretty good quality. Could sell this. A jar of homemade strawberry jam with a handwritten recipe card explaining how it was made. Fancy artisanal soap that smells like sandalwood and cedar, wrapped in handmade paper. A knitted coaster set in colors that somehow match my living room that this person has never seen. Each gift comes with a note, always calling themselves your friend, always on the scented lavender paper. And I'm starting to get genuinely concerned because this is a substantial amount of effort and resources for someone I don't know. Chris thinks the whole situation is absolutely hilarious. Dude, you definitely have a secret admirer. This is like a romantic comedy. This is creepy, not romantic. This is stalker behavior. It's only creepy if they're ugly. If they're attractive, it's romantic. That's a terrible double standard, and you know it. I don't make the societal rules. I just observe them and report back. Decide I need to figure out who this is before it escalates further. Start paying much more attention to my neighbors, trying to spot patterns. There's an elderly couple in 4B, the Hendersons. They smile and wave, seem completely normal and friendly. A young guy in 4C who's always wearing expensive headphones, but barely acknowledges anyone's existence. A family with 2 loud kids in 4D, always chaotic, definitely too busy for elaborate gift making. And Veronica in 4A right across from me, the Renaissance fair crystal lady. She's the only one I haven't really interacted with beyond that weird elevator smile weeks ago. Start noticing patterns. She's always around when I come home from work. Like suspiciously, consistently, always around. Taking out trash right when I get home. Checking her mail when I check mine. Leaving her apartment the exact moment I arrive. It's starting to feel less like coincidence and more like coordination. One evening I come home earlier than usual, like 4 p.m. instead of my normal 6:30 p.m. Decided to leave work early because I finished everything and my boss was already gone. No gift on my doorstep, completely empty. A very interesting data point. Next day I come home at my normal time. There's a gift waiting. It's a hand-knitted scarf in a deep burgundy color. Really nice quality yarn. The note says, "Noticed you shivering at the bus stop last week. Thought you could use something warm. Stay cozy, your friend." Hold on. This person saw me shivering last week? This person is actively watching me and taking notes about my physical state. This has officially crossed from quirky into genuinely concerning territory. Set up my phone to record my doorway the next day while I'm at work. Prop it up on a shelf inside my apartment. Angle it to see through the peephole area. Leave for work at my normal time. Heart racing a bit from anticipation. Check the footage when I get home that evening. Fast forward through hours of empty hallway. Then at exactly 5:35 p.m., there she is, Veronica, in her flowing purple dress, carefully placing a small wrapped package outside my door. She looks around nervously multiple times, touches the package gently like it's precious, then hurries back to her apartment. The whole interaction takes maybe 20 seconds, but it's definitely, unmistakably her. I have video evidence of my mysterious gift giver. Immediately call Chris. Need to process this with someone. It's the Renaissance fair lady from across the hall. I have video proof. Okay, first question, is she hot? That is not the relevant question here, Chris. It's definitely part of the relevant questions. Rate her on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't know, 7, 8 maybe. That's not the point. So she's attractive, and she's been leaving you handmade gifts. Sounds like you won the neighbor lottery. She's been watching me. She knew I was cold last week. She knows my schedule. Okay, that part is slightly concerning. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Confront her? Tell her to stop? Call the police? Maybe just talk to her like a normal human first. She's clearly socially awkward, not necessarily dangerous. He might have a point, but this still feels really wrong. Decide to leave a note on my door asking her to stop. Try the diplomatic approach first. I appreciate all the gifts, but it's becoming a bit much. If you want to talk to me, we can just have a normal conversation like neighbors. Please, no more gifts. It's making me uncomfortable. Tape it to my door. Hope this resolves the situation without confrontation. Next day, there's a response note. Jetta, the handwriting looks shakier than usual. I'm so incredibly sorry if I made you uncomfortable. That was never my intention. I just wanted to be nice and welcoming. I struggle with direct social interaction. I'll stop with the gifts immediately, but please, can we talk? I really need to explain myself. Apartment 4A, anytime after 7 p.m., Veronica. So it is Veronica, and now she wants to have a conversation. This could go several different ways, most of them potentially awkward or weird. Text Chris for advice. She wants to talk face to face. Should I go? Obviously, yes, I need to know how this story ends. Do it tonight and give me a full report. What if she's actually unhinged? Text me every 10 minutes with a code word. It's if I don't hear from you, I'll call the cops. That's not as reassuring as you think it is, but okay. The code word is pineapple, because nobody uses that word in normal conversation. Fine, pineapple it is. 7:30 p.m., standing outside apartment 4A, second-guessing every decision that led me here. Take a deep breath, knock on the door firmly. Veronica answers almost immediately like she was standing right there waiting. Hi, thank you so much for coming. Please come in. Her apartment is exactly what you'd expect from someone who dresses like a medieval fortune teller. Crystals literally everywhere, on every surface, hanging from the ceiling, in bowls on tables. Tapestries covering the walls with moons and stars and mystical symbols. Incense burning in the corner. Smell is overwhelming. Some kind of sandalwood mixture. There are plants in every available corner and on every shelf, thriving unlike my sad, dying ficus. It's like stepping into a New Age shop or a witch's cottage from a fantasy movie. Sorry about the clutter. I wasn't really expecting company. I don't have many visitors. This is not clutter. This is a carefully curated aesthetic lifestyle choice. It's fine. Interesting place. Very unique. Thank you. Please sit anywhere. Can I get you some tea? I have a wonderful herbal blend. Sure. Tea sounds fine. She disappears into what I assume is the kitchen. I'm sitting on a velvet purple couch. There are tarot cards spread out on the coffee table in front of me. Books about astrology and crystal healing stacked everywhere. A cat I didn't notice before jumps up next to me, black with green eyes, very witchy. That's Shadow. He's friendly. He loves new people. She returns with tea in delicate cups painted with crescent moons. We sit in awkward silence for a moment, both holding our moon cups. I'm really glad you came. I know I've been weird and I want to explain. Yeah, the gifts were a lot. I appreciate the thought, but it was excessive. I know, I'm not good at normal social interaction. I tend to express myself through gifts and gestures instead of words. Most people just say hello in the hallway. I'm aware my therapist reminds me of this constantly. At least she's in therapy and has some self-awareness. So why did you leave all that stuff? We don't even know each other. She takes a deep breath, preparing for something. Because I had a vision about you the night you moved in. Oh no. A vision. Yes. And I drew tarot cards that evening and you appeared in the reading very strongly. This is so much worse than I thought. I don't really believe in tarot or psychic visions. That's completely fine. You don't have to believe, but I do. And the cards told me something important. What did they supposedly tell you? That you were going through something painful and difficult. That you needed support and kindness. That you were isolated and lonely. Okay, that's actually uncomfortably accurate, but I'm not admitting anything. I'm fine. I have friends and family. I'm not lonely. Your aura suggests otherwise. It's very clouded, lots of recent pain. My aura. She's reading my aura now. This is absolutely insane. Look, Veronica, I appreciate your concern, but I don't need mystical intervention. But I'm just a regular guy living his life. I understand. I know how this sounds. I'm not delusional. I just follow my intuition. Your intuition told you to leave a stranger dozens of handmade gifts? Essentially, yes. The universe guided me to offer you support during a difficult transition. That's a really elaborate way of saying you were being creepy. She winces but nods. You're absolutely right. I crossed boundaries. I made you uncomfortable. I apologize sincerely. She seems genuinely remorseful, at least. If you wanted to be neighborly, you could have just knocked and introduced yourself like a normal person. I have severe social anxiety. Initiating direct contact with new people is extremely difficult, sometimes impossible. But you're talking to me now without any issue, because you initiated it. Right? When someone else starts the interaction, I can respond, but I can't start conversations myself. I freeze completely. This is actually sad. She's clearly struggling with real mental health issues. Okay, I can understand that social anxiety is difficult, but the gifts and watching my schedule was too much. I know, I see that now. No more gifts, I promise completely. I'll respect your boundaries. We sit in silence drinking moon tea, which is actually pretty good. Shadow the cat is purring loudly on my lap. Apparently I'm approved. What else did your tarot reading supposedly say about me? Probably shouldn't encourage this, but I'm genuinely curious now. That you recently ended a significant relationship, that you moved here seeking a fresh start, yet that you're struggling with trust and opening up to new people. Every single thing is completely accurate, and that's deeply unsettling. Lucky guesses based on common patterns. Or accurate intuitive reading, but we can agree to disagree. She's weird, but kind of interesting in a strange way. Do you do this psychic reading thing for everyone in the building? No, absolutely not. Just you. The cards were very specific and insistent. So I'm special according to the universe. According to my interpretation of the cards, yes. This is the strangest conversation I've ever had in my entire life. Finish the tea, it's actually really good. Some kind of chamomile blend with other herbs. I should probably go, it's getting late. Of course, thank you for giving me a chance to explain. And I know it's unconventional. That's definitely one word for it. No more mysterious gifts, but if you ever want to talk or need anything, I'm right across the hall. Okay, thanks for the tea, Veronica. Anytime, really. My door is always open. Leave her Crystal Palace apartment feeling thoroughly confused about everything. Text Chris immediately with the code word plus update. Pineapple. She's a tarot reading witch who had a vision about me. What the actual hell? She thinks the universe told her I needed friendship and support. That's genuinely insane, but also kind of sweet. She's harmless, but definitely eccentric. Severe social anxiety, uses gifts to communicate. So are you going to be friends with the witch? I don't know, maybe? If she apologized and seems self-aware about being weird. This is the weirdest neighbor situation I've ever heard. Tell me about it. I moved here for a quiet, fresh start. Next few days are quiet, no gifts, no notes, just normal apartment living. Kind of missed the gifts a little bit. They were weird, but showed real thought and effort. Past Veronica in the hallway, Friday evening. She smiles nervously and waves. Hi, how are you? Good, you? Doing well, have a nice evening. That's it, normal polite neighbor interaction. No weirdness. Weekend arrives, I'm doing laundry in the building's basement laundry room. It's one of those depressing basement laundry situations with flickering lights and mysterious stains. Veronica comes in with her laundry basket full of purple and blue clothes. Oh, hi, sorry. I can come back if you need privacy. It's fine, there are like 6 machines, plenty of room. We do laundry in awkward silence, machines humming and spinning. I really am sorry about everything. The gifts, the watching, all of it. It's fine, really. I understand you were trying to be kind in your own way. Exactly. Thank you for understanding. Most people would have called the police. I considered it briefly. That's fair and valid. More silence. The rhythmic sound of washers filling the space. Can I ask you something potentially weird? After everything, sure, go ahead. Do the tarot cards actually tell you real things, or do you just interpret them how you want to see them? She pauses, loading her washer, thinks carefully about her answer. Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. They provide guidance, and I interpret based on intuition. Could be entirely my subconscious. So you could be completely wrong about everything regarding me? Absolutely. Happens frequently, actually. I'm wrong a lot. But you still believe in it and follow the guidance? I believe in paying attention to signs and intuition. The cards are just a tool for focusing that attention, like meditation. That's actually more reasonable than I expected. Don't sound so surprised. I'm weird, but not completely irrational. We both laugh. Tension breaks significantly. You know, if you want to be friends in a normal way, we could hang out sometime. No mystical visions required. Really? You'd want to be friends after I essentially stalked you with kindness? Kindness stalking is definitely a new one. But yeah, you seem interesting. And you make good cookies. The cookies are a solid foundation for friendship. Exactly. Cookie-based relationships are underrated. Exchange phone numbers like normal human beings having a normal interaction. Tell Chris about this development later. You're actually becoming friends with the tarot witch neighbor? She's not a witch. She just likes crystals and mystical stuff. Totally harmless. That's literally the definition of a modern witch, but okay. She's genuinely nice once you get past the unconventional introduction. This is going to end badly, I'm calling it now. You're so pessimistic about everything. I prefer the term realistic. There's an important difference. Following weekend, Veronica invites me over to watch a movie. She promises to be completely normal, whatever that means for her. Show up Saturday evening. She has popcorn and regular snacks from actual stores. See, I can do normal, no homemade artisanal anything. I'm genuinely proud of you. We watch a horror movie. She provides running commentary about the supernatural elements. That's not at all how hauntings work, completely inaccurate. You're an expert on supernatural hauntings? I've read extensively on the subject, studied folklore and paranormal phenomena. Of course you have, why wouldn't you? It's actually fun. She's funny and interesting when she's not being creepy with gifts. Movie ends around 11 p.m. She's getting ready to head back across the hall. Thanks for giving me a chance after such a weird beginning. Everyone deserves a second chance, plus you make really good tea. High praise, I'll take it. She goes back to her apartment. I clean up the popcorn. Yeah, this might actually work out as a normal neighborly friendship. Monday morning, I'm leaving for work. There's something outside my door. Oh no, she promised no more gifts. But it's not from Veronica. Immediately obvious. It's a dead bird in a small cardboard box. An actual dead bird. Looks like a sparrow. Definitely deceased. What the actual hell is happening? There's a note, but the handwriting is completely different, masculine and aggressive. Stay away from her or you're next. This is your only warning. Threatening note with a literal dead animal. This has escalated from weird to genuinely dangerous. Knock on Veronica's door immediately. Early morning be damned. She answers in pajamas, clearly just woke up, looks confused. There's a dead bird outside my door with a threatening note. Her face goes completely pale. It all color drains instantly. What? Show me. Show her the box and note. She looks absolutely horrified. Oh my God, that's not from me. I swear on everything. I know your handwriting. This is different. Who else would do this? She sits down on her couch, starts shaking slightly. It's probably Derek, my ex-boyfriend. Your ex is leaving dead birds at my door? He's been harassing and stalking me since we broke up 8 months ago. He's extremely unstable. This is way worse than tarot readings and mysterious gifts. We need to call the police immediately. I have a restraining order against him, but he keeps violating it. Police know about him. Veronica, there's a dead animal with death threats. I know, I'm so sorry. This is entirely my fault for involving you. We call the police. They arrive within 20 minutes. Take the bird and note as evidence. Older officer looks tired, like he's seen this before. Ma'am, is this related to your existing case against Derek Morrison? Yes, officer. He's escalating again. Now he's threatening my neighbor. We'll add this to the file and increase patrols. Keep your doors locked. Call immediately if he shows up. They leave with the evidence. I'm standing in my hallway processing this nightmare. Your ex-boyfriend is threatening me because we watched a movie? He's possessive and violent. Anyone in my life is perceived as a threat to his control. What else should I know about this situation? She takes a shaky breath. He's been stalking me for 8 months since I left him. Broken into my apartment twice, slashed my car tires. I'd sent hundreds of threatening messages and emails. And you didn't think this was relevant information before we became friends? I didn't think it was relevant because I didn't expect us to become friends. I thought you'd reject my friendship completely. Fair point, but also completely unfair to spring this on me. I need time to process all of this. I completely understand. I'm so sorry for dragging you into my nightmare. Go back to my apartment. Lock every single lock. Feel unsafe in my own home for the first time. Text Chris with an update. The witch's psycho ex-boyfriend left a dead bird at my door with threats. I literally told you this would end badly. Not helpful right now. What are you gonna do? Move? File a police report? Both? Already filed police report. Considering moving, but I just signed a lease. Your life has become a horror movie. Very aware of that, thanks. My face when I moved into an apartment for a peaceful fresh start and ended up with a tarot reading neighbor whose psycho ex-boyfriend leaves dead birds as territorial warnings. Beamy. 1 week after Derek's terrifying dead bird attack on my apartment door, living in a constant state of heightened anxiety and paranoia. Building management actually took the threat seriously for once, installed brand new security cameras in all the hallways, upgraded all the door locks to heavy-duty deadbolts, hired a night security guard for the lobby. The guard's name is Frank. He's around 60 years old, retired police officer, takes his job very seriously. Nobody's getting past me on my watch, he says while eating a meatball sub at 2 a.m. Not exactly the most inspiring image of security, but better than absolutely nothing. Derek got arrested 2 days after the bird incident, caught on security camera footage at a gas station 3 blocks from the building. Cops picked him up without incident, and he's currently being held on multiple violations of the restraining order, plus property damage and threats. Veronica seems relieved, but still constantly scared and looking over her shoulder. He'll get out eventually. He always manages to get out. His family has money for lawyers. Maybe this time they'll actually keep him locked up longer because of the escalation. The system doesn't work the way it should. I've learned that the hard way over these months. Threatening someone with a dead bird seems pretty serious. You'd think, but rich people with good lawyers get away with a lot. We've been hanging out more frequently, partially for mutual safety reasons, partially because we genuinely get along. She's been teaching me about crystals despite my complete skepticism. This black tourmaline is specifically for protection. You should keep it by your front door. It's literally just a rock, a shiny black rock. It's a blessed and charged protection stone. You're telling me you blessed a rock? Yes, during the full moon last week with specific intentions. That's still just a rock that you talked to. Your skepticism is noted and completely ignored. Take the rock. I take the rock because arguing is pointless. Chris thinks this entire situation has become my personal entertainment reality show. So let me get this straight. You're friends with a witch and her violent ex wants to murder you? He doesn't want to murder me, probably just threaten and intimidate me. That is not even slightly better. I'm very aware of how bad this is. You should seriously move, immediately. Yeah, this is not worth whatever rent you're paying. I just signed a year lease 3 months ago. Breaking it would cost thousands in penalties. You can't put a price on not being murdered by a jealous psychopath. He has an extremely valid point, but moving feels like letting Derek win somehow. 2 weeks of relative peace and quiet. Derek is still in jail, awaiting his court hearing. Veronica and I have established a daily safety check-in routine. She knocks on my door every single morning before she leaves for work at her bookstore job. Still alive? Unfortunately, yes. You? Sadly, also alive. Dark humor has become our primary coping mechanism for this situation. She's actually really cool and interesting once you get past the initial Crystal Witch aesthetic. We watch movies together a few times a week, play complicated board games. She's teaching me tarot even though I insist it's complete nonsense. Pick 3 cards from the deck, don't think too hard. Draw 3 completely random cards, have no idea what they mean. The Tower, Death, and the Fool. Wow, that seems extremely bad. It's not literal, these are metaphorical. The Tower represents upheaval and necessary change. Death means transformation and endings of cycles, not actual death. The Fool represents new beginnings and taking leaps of faith. So basically everything is ending and changing and beginning simultaneously. You're going through a major life transition period. I moved apartments and got threatened by your psychotic ex-boyfriend. That's definitely transitional. See? Yet the cards accurately reflected your current situation, or it's vague enough to apply to literally anyone at any time. Agree to disagree on interpretation. One Thursday night, I'm working late at the office, don't get home until almost 10 p.m. Exhausted from dealing with a particularly difficult client who tried to claim their pet goldfish as a dependent. Frank, the security guard, stops me in the lobby before I can get to the elevator. Hey, wanted to let you know someone was here asking about you earlier tonight. Immediate anxiety spike. Adrenaline kicks in. Who? What did they look like? Frank describes someone who is definitely not Derek, based on the description. Younger, different build, different hair color, completely different person. Did you tell them which apartment I'm in? Absolutely not. Building policy. And I don't give out any resident information to anyone. Thanks, Frank. That's really concerning, though. Want me to file an incident report with management? Yeah, please do that. I want everything documented. Text Veronica immediately while riding the elevator up. Someone was asking about me at the front desk tonight, not Derek, though. What? Who would be asking about you? No idea. Frank didn't recognize them. Derek has friends. Terrible people just like him. He could have sent someone. You think he'd actually do that from jail? Absolutely yes. He's obsessive and has connections. This is exactly something he'd orchestrate. Now I'm paranoid about multiple potential threats instead of just one. Set up one of those cheap security cameras from Amazon outside my apartment door. And if anyone approaches or leaves anything, I'll have video evidence. Spend the next day at work completely unable to concentrate. Keep checking the camera feed on my phone. Nothing unusual happening. Just normal neighbors coming and going throughout the day. My boss notices my distraction during a meeting. You seem unfocused today. Everything all right? Just some personal stuff going on. I'll get it together. Anything the company should be aware of or can help with? Neighbor dispute? Nothing work-related. I'll handle it. Okay, we'll try to stay focused. We have the Johnson audit coming up. Easy for him to say. He's not being stalked by proxy. Veronica brings me homemade soup for dinner that night. Chicken and vegetable. You look stressed and exhausted. Thought you could use actual food. You're not wrong. And I've been living on coffee and vending machine snacks. We eat soup together in my apartment and watch a mindless comedy to distract from stress. I'm really genuinely sorry I dragged you into all my horrible drama. It's not your fault your ex is a controlling psychopath. I should have warned you about the situation before we became actual friends. Would that really have changed anything? Probably not, but at least you would have been mentally prepared. Nothing could have prepared me for dead birds. That's not a preparable situation. She laughs despite everything. It's good to hear her smile. You're handling all of this better than most people would in your position. I'm dead inside from years of accounting work, yet this is just a different flavor of nightmare. Accountant humor is surprisingly dark. All accountant humor is dark. We deal with taxes and angry rich people daily. Weekend finally arrives. Decide we need to do something normal to feel less like prisoners. Want to go to that farmer's market downtown? Get out of the building? In public? With actual other people around? I know, radical concept, actually leaving our secure location. What if Derek somehow got out of jail? I checked the court records online this morning. He's still locked up awaiting trial. You're checking court records regularly now? I've become paranoid and thorough about everything. It's my new personality. We take the bus to the farmer's market. Feels good to be out in sunshine. Normal people doing normal weekend things. Buying vegetables and artisanal bread, no threats or dead animals. Veronica immediately finds a vendor selling crystals, because of course there's a crystal vendor. I already have approximately 1 million crystals in my apartment. One can never have too many crystals, that's impossible. That is objectively, demonstrably not true. She buys 3 more crystals anyway. I buy fresh bread and some vegetables. Pretending life is normal and safe feels really good. Walking back toward the bus stop, I notice a guy watching us from across the street. Not casually watching, intensely staring, focused entirely on us. Don't look now, but there's someone staring at us from across the street. Where exactly? I specifically said, don't look. She looks anyway immediately, goes visibly pale. That's Marcus, Derek's best friend from college. They're like brothers. Should we run right now? No, just keep walking normally. Don't let him see that we're scared or intimidated. We walk faster without actually running, trying to look casual. Get back to our building. Frank is thankfully at the front desk. Frank, there's a guy who is following us, friend of Derek's. Still might be outside. Where? Point through the glass front doors. Marcus is standing across the street, still watching the building. Want me to call the police? Yes, please, immediately. Frank calls it in, explains the situation to dispatch. By the time police officers arrive 10 minutes later, Marcus has disappeared. Give detailed description to the officers. They take notes and photos. It will increase patrols in this area and add this to the existing case file. Standard response that doesn't feel particularly helpful or reassuring. Back in my apartment, adrenaline wearing off, starting to crash hard. This is completely insane. We can't live like this indefinitely. I know, I'm so sorry. What does Derek even want at this point? Control, punishment for leaving him, elimination of any perceived threats to his obsessive claim on me. I'm not even a romantic threat. We're literally just platonic friends. Doesn't matter to him at all. Any man in my life is automatically a threat. That's absolutely psychotic behavior. Yes, that's precisely why there's a restraining order. We sit in silence for a while, both processing everything. Yeah, maybe you should get a protective order against Derek and Marcus too. Does that actually help in reality? No, not really, but it creates documentation and legal consequences for violations. Decide to file for a protective order against both Derek and Marcus. Courthouse the next week is depressing, full of people with similar nightmare stories. Judge grants the temporary protection order, hearing scheduled for next month. Avoid all contact with the respondents. Call police for any violations immediately. Yeah, that's been the plan this entire time. Tell Chris about the Marcus following situation. There are 2 psychos now? Apparently Derek has assembled a whole crew of unstable people. You need to move immediately. Yeah, this is way beyond normal neighborly disputes. I literally cannot afford to break my lease right now. You can't afford to get murdered either. That's also expensive. Why is everyone so obsessed with me potentially dying? Because there are literal credible death threats. He's completely right, but I'm too stubborn and broke to move. 3 weeks after the original dead bird incident, Derek makes bail somehow. Veronica gets an automated notification on her phone. He's out, but wearing an ankle monitor. He's out of jail. What? How is that even possible? His expensive lawyer argued he wasn't a flight risk. Judge actually agreed. He literally violated a restraining order multiple times. I know, but he's out now. It has to stay 500 feet away from me and this building. 500 feet is not nearly enough distance for comfort. Completely agreed. Immediately go into high alert security mode. Double check all locks constantly. Keep pepper spray on me at all times. Vary my daily schedule unpredictably. Veronica does the same. We coordinate walking to and from the parking garage together. We're like a traumatized buddy system. A trauma-bonded buddy system specifically. The best kind. forged in dead birds and court appearances. 2 days after Derek's release, I go out to my car in the morning. Long, deep scratches down both sides, vandalism carved into the paint. Stay away carved prominently into the hood, deep enough to damage metal. Check building security footage immediately. It's Marcus wearing a dark hoodie. And his face is partially visible in one frame, definitely identifiable. File another police report, add it to the growing mountain of evidence. We have him clearly on camera committing the crime. Doesn't really matter, he'll claim it wasn't him. Lawyers will argue the footage is unclear. His face is literally visible in the video. Welcome to the justice system. It's fundamentally broken in many ways. Insurance covers most of the car damage, but I have to pay $500 deductible. $500 out of pocket because Derek's friend decided to vandalize my property. This is getting both expensive and increasingly dangerous. Veronica offers to pay for the damages. This is happening because of me and my situation. It's because of Derek, not because of you. You're a victim. Same thing, I feel guilty anyway. Don't waste energy on guilt. As direct it toward protection and safety. I could sage the building? I don't think sage is going to stop a violent stalker. Worth trying, can't hurt. She actually does sage the entire hallway. Frank watches with confusion. What exactly are you doing? Spiritual cleansing for protection. Does that actually work? Can't hurt, might help. Fair enough, carry on. My boss notices my performance slipping at work again. You've been distracted for weeks now, what's going on? Some serious personal issues, I'm handling it, but it's affecting focus. Anything I should be concerned about from a company perspective? Neighbor harassment situation, nothing work-related. Police are involved. Okay, well try to compartmentalize, we need you focused. Easy for him to say from his safe suburban house. 1 month after the initial incident, Derek violates his bail conditions spectacularly. Shows up at Veronica's workplace, the independent bookstore downtown where she works. She calls 911 immediately. He runs before cops can arrive. His ankle monitor data shows he was definitely there, clear violation of the restraining order. He'll definitely go back to jail now after this. Hopefully for significantly longer this time. Derek is arrested that same night at his mom's house, held without bail this time. Judge is very unhappy about the workplace violation. He's going away for a while. How long are we talking? Lawyer estimates minimum 6 months, possibly up to 2 years depending on the trial. That's at least something positive. We actually celebrate with wine and Chinese takeout food. To Derek being locked up, to not being constantly terrorized, clink glasses, and I feel genuine relief for the first time in weeks. What about Marcus though? What about him specifically? Is he going to continue this harassment campaign without Derek? Hopefully not. Without Derek actively directing him, he might actually stop. Or he might escalate further on his own. You're such an optimist about everything. I'm a realist who's had his car vandalized. Next 2 weeks are completely quiet, no incidents, no threats, no Marcus sightings. Starting to feel like maybe this nightmare is actually ending. Chris remains skeptical about everything. It's been 2 weeks. That's not long enough to declare total victory. Let me have this brief moment of peace. Fine. Enjoy your false sense of security while it lasts. You're genuinely the worst friend sometimes. I'm the most brutally honest friend. Yeah, there's a difference. 2 weeks of peace somehow turns into a full month. Life slowly returns to something resembling normal. Veronica and I still hang out regularly, but without the constant, overwhelming fear. She's trying to teach me meditation with limited success. Clear your mind completely, focus only on breathing. My mind is permanently full of spreadsheets and complex tax codes. You need to let all of that go. I literally cannot, they haunt my dreams. You're terrible at this meditative practice. I'm an accountant. Meditation goes against my fundamental nature. We laugh. She gives up on spiritually enlightening me. You're completely hopeless. I've fully accepted this about myself. One evening she invites me to a tarot reading party with her friend group. A what exactly? My spiritual friends are coming over. We're doing readings for each other, it's fun. That genuinely sounds like my personal hell. Come on, it'll be fun, you might actually enjoy it. I absolutely will not enjoy it. Please? I want you to meet my friends, they're all asking about you. What have you told them about me? That my neighbor helped save me from my abusive ex and now we're close friends. I didn't save you, I just called 911 multiple times. Same thing in my book of definitions. Reluctantly agree to attend this tarot party. Show up at 7 p.m. Her apartment is packed with people who look exactly like you'd expect. Flowing clothes, crystals, incense, the whole New Age aesthetic. Everyone, this is my neighbor and dear friend. They all turn to stare at me like I'm an exotic zoo animal. This is the accountant? Yes, as he's very left-brained and logical. We can work with that energy. Spend the evening getting tarot readings from various spiritually minded people. They're all genuinely nice, eccentric, but very kind. A woman named Luna does an extensive reading for me. You've recently experienced significant trauma and major upheaval. That's extremely accurate. But you're entering a stable period of growth and healing. I really hope so. The cards indicate you'll find unexpected friendship and possibly even romance soon. The cards are intentionally vague. The cards are accurate. You'll see eventually. Actually have a surprisingly good time despite my initial skepticism. These people are weird, but they're genuine and kind. They clearly care about Veronica and protect their community. We're really glad she has you as a neighbor and friend. We watch out for each other. That's important, especially after everything with Derek. They all know about Derek. Apparently he's been terrorizing Veronica for over a year total. She seems so much happier lately. We're working on healing together. Leave the party feeling surprisingly positive about everything. Text Chris an update. I went to a tarot party with witches. What has your life become? I genuinely don't know anymore. Are you converting to witchcraft? Absolutely not, but the people were nice. You're going soft. Maybe a little bit. 2 months after Derek's arrest, his trial date is finally set. Veronica has to testify. She's absolutely terrified about it. What if the jury doesn't believe me? They have mountains of evidence, camera footage, police reports, restraining order violations. What if his lawyer makes me look crazy? Then I'll testify too and corroborate everything. You don't have to do that. Yes, I do. He terrorized both of us. I'm involved. Trial day arrives. Courthouse is intimidating and imposing. Derek is there in an expensive suit, looking completely normal and harmless. That's the scariest part. He looks like a regular person. Veronica testifies first, describes months of escalating harassment in detail. His lawyer tries aggressively to discredit her testimony. Isn't it true you have a history of mental health treatment? Yes, for anxiety and PTSD directly from your client's persistent stalking. Objection, speculation about causation. Judge sustains it. This brutal cross-examination goes on for over an hour. As she's crying by the end, but she holds her ground firmly. My turn to testify. I describe all the incidents clearly. Dead bird threat, door kicking, car vandalism, Marcus following us. Derek's lawyer tries similar discrediting tactics. Isn't it possible these incidents are completely unrelated to my client? 3 separate targeted incidents all after becoming friends with the plaintiff? That's an astronomical coincidence. Please answer yes or no. Possible but highly, extremely. Judge seems increasingly annoyed with the lawyer's tactics. Prosecution presents overwhelming evidence systematically. Camera footage, police reports, text messages, witness statements. It's absolutely overwhelming. Derek is clearly guilty. Jury deliberates for exactly 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Stalking, harassment. It's multiple restraining order violations, property damage, terroristic threats. Sentencing is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. Veronica cries with overwhelming relief. It's over. It's actually really over. Not until sentencing officially happens. Let me have this moment. We celebrate with terrible diner coffee. To justice actually being served. To not living in constant fear. Clink terrible coffee mugs together. Sentencing day finally arrives. Derek gets 2 years in prison, plus 5 years supervised probation after release. Must stay away from Veronica permanently. No contact order is indefinite. Marcus separately gets 6 months for the vandalism, also has a permanent no contact order. 2 years isn't nearly enough. It's better than nothing. And when he'll have a permanent criminal record now. I guess that's something. Walking out of courthouse, feel physically lighter than I have in months. Veronica is actually genuinely smiling. I can't believe it's really truly over. Believe it, you're finally free. We're free. What are you going to do now? Live my life without constantly looking over my shoulder. That sounds incredible. What about you? Probably keep being your friend. Maybe let you teach me more about crystals. Really? I mean, they're still just rocks, but if it makes you happy. She hugs me tightly, crying happy tears. Thank you for not running away when everything got scary. Where would I run to? I signed a binding lease. You could have broken it and left. I'm too cheap and stubborn for that. We both laugh. Everything feels genuinely lighter. That's that feeling when your weird witch neighbor's psycho ex terrorized you both, but you survived together and came out with a solid friendship and newfound appreciation for boring, peaceful normalcy. Be me. 6 months after Derek's sentencing, life has achieved a level of normalcy I genuinely didn't think was possible after everything. Still living in the same apartment building. Still close friends with Veronica. Still working as an accountant helping rich people minimize their tax burden. The building feels genuinely safe again. Frank still works security, but mostly deals with mundane package delivery disputes and noise complaints now. Remember when we had actual serious crime happening here? I really don't miss those days at all, Frank. Me neither, honestly, but it made the job feel important and meaningful. Your job should be boring. Boring means everything is safe and fine. Wise words from a young man. Veronica and Adrian, her new boyfriend, have been dating for 4 months now. They're disgustingly cute together in that wholesome way that makes you happy for them. Adrian is a librarian, incredibly soft-spoken, reads poetry, writes haikus, complete opposite of Derek in every possible way. He comes over for dinner at Veronica's place twice a week, sometimes graciously invites me to join them. You don't have to include me. I don't want to third wheel your romantic dinners. You're not third wheeling. You're being a good friend and neighbor. I'm also eating your food for free. That's just a bonus feature of friendship. Adrian is genuinely nice, talks passionately about books and poetry and literature. Very gentle, peaceful energy. I'm currently reading this fascinating critical analysis of Romantic era poetry and philosophy. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but it sounds intellectually stimulating. It's about the tension between emotion and rationality in 19th century literature. As an accountant, I'm firmly team rationality always. As a poet and romantic, I'm team emotion. What team is Veronica on? I'm team crystals and tarot, obviously. We all laugh together. It's genuinely comfortable and nice. Work is actually going surprisingly well for once. Got assigned a major client, potential promotion being discussed. My boss seems genuinely impressed with my recent focus and performance. You've really turned your work around these past several months. Had some major personal issues finally resolved. It can focus properly now. Whatever you're doing, keep doing exactly that. Not going to mention the whole stalking and court situation. Probably not professional or appropriate. Chris and I grab lunch at our usual sandwich spot, same order every time. So life is actually legitimately good now? Shockingly, yes, it's weird. No drama, no death threats, no court appearances scheduled. None whatsoever. It's bizarre how normal everything feels. You sound almost disappointed by the peace. Not disappointed, just adjusting to stability after chaos. Most normal people don't need an adjustment period for peace. Most normal people didn't have a neighbor's psycho ex leaving dead birds and threats. That's an extremely fair point. Weekend arrives. Veronica knocks on my door Saturday morning around 10 a.m. Do you want to go to this metaphysical fair downtown with me and Adrian today? What exactly is a metaphysical fair? Vendors selling crystals, tarot readings, spiritual books, healing sessions, all that stuff. That genuinely sounds like my personal nightmare. Come on, it'll be fun and interesting. You might find something you like. I absolutely definitely won't find anything. Please, Adrian's younger sister is visiting and coming with us. She doesn't know anyone here. You could hang out with her. Are you actively trying to set me up? Maybe just a little bit. She's really nice. I think you genuinely like her. Veronica, that's not subtle. Just meet her casually, zero pressure. If you don't click, you can leave whenever. Against every instinct and better judgment, I agree to go. Show up at the fair an hour later. Yeah, it's exactly what I expected and feared. Crystals absolutely everywhere. Incense so thick I can barely breathe properly. People wearing flowing robes and jewelry. I hate everything about this already. You haven't even given it a fair chance yet. Adrian's sister walks up. Her name is Sophie. She's actually really cute. Dressed completely normal in jeans and a sweater. Looks as uncomfortable and out of place as I feel. You must be the famous accountant neighbor I've heard about. That's me? You must be Adrian's sister. Guilty as charged. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing at this fair either. Adrian dragged you here? Veronica convinced him to convince me to come. The whole thing is obviously a setup. Same exact situation? Want to get actual coffee instead of pretending we care about crystals? Absolutely yes. Or let's escape immediately. We ditch the metaphysical fair, find a normal coffee shop 2 blocks away. I genuinely can't believe they thought we wouldn't notice the obvious setup. Veronica's about as subtle as a brick crashing through a window. Adrian's exactly the same way, thinks he's being clever and sneaky. We talk for almost 2 hours straight. Turns out she's a graphic designer for a marketing firm. She's into horror movies, has a genuinely dark sense of humor, very easy to talk to. What's the absolute wildest thing that's happened to you recently? Tell her the entire Derek saga in detail, dead birds and courtroom drama and everything. She's laughing so hard coffee literally comes out her nose. That's completely insane. But you're still friends with her after all that chaos? Trauma bonding is extremely real and powerful. Clearly, most reasonable people would have moved out immediately. I'm cheap and stubborn in equal measure. Those are qualities I genuinely respect in a person. We exchange phone numbers, agree to actually hang out again soon. This was infinitely better than a metaphysical fair. Literally anything is better than that experience. Text Veronica later. Your matchmaking attempt was painfully obvious, but thanks, she's cool. She responds immediately. I knew it. Double date next weekend? Slow down significantly. We literally just met today. But you like her, right? She's nice and interesting. We'll see how it goes. That's basically a yes. She's absolutely impossible but lovable. Sophie and I text throughout the week. We had mostly memes and random observations, some actual conversation. She's funny and smart, easy to talk to, doesn't think I'm crazy for the whole stalker situation. If anything, the stalking thing makes you more interesting than average. Most people think it makes me a magnet for chaos and drama. I've had enough boring in my life. Chaos is interesting. I've had quite enough chaos for a lifetime. Understandable. How about medium-level chaos? Medium chaos I can probably work with. We go on an actual proper date Friday night, dinner at a Thai place, and then a horror movie. She picks the movie, we both talk through it loudly, pointing out obvious plot holes. Why would she possibly go into the dark basement alone? Seriously, that nothing good has ever happened in a horror movie basement. Horror movie characters have absolutely zero survival instinct. If this was real life, we'd both survive easily. Absolutely, we'd immediately nope right out of that haunted house situation. After the movie, we walk around the city for a while just talking. This was genuinely fun, we should definitely do it again. Agreed completely. How about next weekend? Sounds perfect. I'll pick the movie this time. As long as it's not a romance, I have standards. Horror or action only, that's the deal. Start seeing Sophie regularly over the next few weeks. Casual dating, no pressure or expectations. Veronica is absolutely thrilled about this development. I'm an excellent matchmaker. This is proof. You literally just introduced us once. We did everything else ourselves. I created the opportunity and conditions. That's definitely matchmaking. Fine, you get partial credit for the introduction. I'll absolutely take it. 1 month into dating Sophie, things are going really well. She's met Chris, they get along great, which is important. She's actually normal. I genuinely approve. Your approval was not requested or required. I'm giving it anyway freely. She's good for you. How so exactly? You're noticeably less uptight, you smile more frequently. You're not constantly paranoid about everything. I was never constantly paranoid about things. You literally installed multiple security cameras everywhere. That was completely justified given the circumstances. I'm not arguing that point, just observing you've relaxed significantly. He's completely right. And I have genuinely relaxed. Sophie has this naturally calming effect, makes everything seem less serious and heavy. You know what we should actually do? What's your idea? Go on a double date with Veronica and Adrian finally. They've been asking persistently for weeks now. I know, I was deliberately avoiding it. Why exactly? Felt weird and forced, like obligatory couple time. But now you're okay with it? Now I'm actually okay with the idea. Double date happens the following weekend. Veronica picked this fancy restaurant. It has elaborate mood lighting and expensive cocktails with fresh herbs floating in them. This is extremely extra and unnecessary. It's called creating ambiance and atmosphere. It's called dramatically overpriced. We actually have a genuinely great time though. Conversation flows naturally and easily. And Adrian tells entertaining stories about difficult library patrons. Sophie talks about nightmare design clients. This one guy wanted his company logo to be exactly 15 different colors simultaneously. How did you possibly handle that? Told him directly it would look like a clown vomited. He was deeply offended. Did he still hire you after that? Absolutely not, but I maintained my artistic integrity. Veronica is watching us with this satisfied, knowing smile the entire evening. What are you smiling about? Nothing specific, just genuinely happy everything worked out well. You mean you're happy your matchmaking plan succeeded? That too, obviously. After dinner, we walk around the city, couples naturally pairing off. Veronica and Adrian ahead of us holding hands like teenagers. Sophie and I behind them at a comfortable distance. They're disgustingly cute together. Almost annoyingly so. You really helped them both through a lot of trauma. I just existed nearby during a crisis, nothing heroic. You did way more than that. You could have moved away. You chose to stay. Stubbornness and cheap rent, not heroism. I'm choosing to believe it was heroism anyway. Believe whatever makes you happy. She grabs my hand. It feels really nice and natural. 2 months into dating, Derek's first parole hearing happens. He's immediately denied, won't be eligible to try again for another full year. Veronica is relieved, but still anxious about the future. What if he actually gets out next time? Then we deal with it together when it happens, but that's a year away minimum. I know logically. I just can't help worrying constantly. That's completely normal trauma response. Have you talked to your therapist about it? Yeah, she says the anxiety is expected and normal given everything. Then trust the therapeutic process. You're genuinely safe now. We're safe now together. She includes me in her safety. That's actually really touching. Work promotes me to senior accountant, comes with a solid raise and more responsibility. Congratulations! Drinks are definitely on you tonight. Chris, Sophie, Veronica, and Adrian all come out to celebrate at a bar. To not being a junior anything anymore. To making slightly more money. To surviving death threats and achieving career advancement. We're all laughing and toasting, having a genuinely great time. Frank, the security guard, sent a congratulations card to my apartment. Says, proud of you. Stay safe always. Frank's surprisingly wholesome. Frank's genuinely the best. 3 months into dating Sophie, we have the official relationship definition talk. So what exactly are we doing here? What do you mean specifically? Are we officially dating or just casually hanging out? Do you want to be official? I do, but wanted to check if you felt the same way. I do feel the same. Officially dating sounds good to me. Cool, so we're official then. Most romantic relationship talk in history. We're both emotionally stunted. This is the best we can do. Completely fair enough. Tell Veronica we're officially a couple now. She literally screams, actual loud screaming. I knew it would work out perfectly. Calm down, you'll disturb all the neighbors. I don't care. When my matchmaking succeeded beautifully. You introduced us one single time. We did literally everything else. I created the initial opportunity. That's more than enough. She's insufferable, but happy, and I love her. 6 months into dating, Sophie and I are really solid and stable. She's met my parents over video call. They genuinely love her. She's so nice and normal, much better than your last girlfriend. Thanks, Mom. Really supportive as always. I'm being honest, the last one was mean and selfish. This one's significantly better in every way. Hard to argue with accurate assessment. I meet Sophie's family in person. They're wonderfully normal and welcoming. Her dad immediately makes accounting jokes. They're terrible, but endearing. What's an accountant's favorite type of music? Tax and roll. Everyone groans loudly. And I laugh because it's peak dad humor. That's absolutely terrible. I love it. I knew you'd appreciate quality humor. Sophie's mom pulls her aside. I can hear their conversation. He's really nice, very polite and respectful. I told you you'd like him, Mom. After Adrian described the whole stalking situation, I was worried about his judgment. He handled everything really well, stayed calm, supported Veronica through trauma. That says a lot about his fundamental character. Meeting families is going really well. That's definitely a positive sign. 1 year exactly after the initial Derek Bird incident, Veronica hosts an anniversary party. Anniversary of what specifically? Of you moving in and us becoming close friends. That seems like an unusual thing to celebrate. I'm celebrating surviving and thriving. But you should too. She invites literally everyone. Our whole combined friend group, neighbors, even Frank. It's wholesome chaos, exactly her style. People start chanting, speech, speech. I'm absolutely not giving a speech. Veronica gets up anyway, ignoring my protest. 1 year ago, my life was a complete nightmare. Derek was terrorizing me constantly. I was alone and terrified. Everyone's listening quietly. Then this guy moved in across the hall and somehow didn't immediately run away when things got dangerous and crazy. I signed a legally binding lease. Everyone laughs at my interruption. Seriously though, you stayed when most people would have fled. You called the cops, you testified in court, you became a real, genuine friend. You're going to make me emotional in public. Too late, I'm already crying. She is actually crying. And Adrian hands her tissues. To friendship, to safety, to new beginnings and second chances. Everyone toasts together. I'm genuinely deeply touched. Later, Sophie and I are out on Veronica's small balcony alone. That was really sweet. Veronica's overly dramatic, but completely sincere always. You really did help her tremendously. We helped each other. I learned a lot about boundaries and real friendship. And apparently tarot too. I still think it's complete nonsense, but I appreciate the sentiment behind it. That's genuine growth and maturity. We kiss with city lights twinkling in the background, party music drifting from inside. I'm really glad you moved into this specific building. Me too, despite the dead birds and court appearances. Those really add memorable flavor to the relationship story. Our eventual kids will love hearing this story. Wait, did she just casually mention future kids? Eventual kids? I mean, hypothetically, in the distant future, if that's something we both want eventually. It is something I want, just surprised you brought it up. Good surprised or bad surprised? Definitely good surprised. We smile at each other like complete idiots. 1 year and 3 months after moving in, life is genuinely stable and good. Work is going great, relationship is strong and healthy, friendship with Veronica is solid. Derek's still safely in prison, won't be out for at least another 8 months minimum. Even when he eventually gets out, he has strict no-contact orders and ankle monitoring. Yeah, Frank got a well-deserved raise for his excellent security work. Couldn't have done it without you folks keeping things interesting and challenging. Glad we could help make your job meaningful, Frank. Seriously though, proud of how everyone handled that terrible situation. We survived together. That's what actually matters. Chris takes partial credit for my successful relationship. If I hadn't encouraged you to go to that metaphysical fair, you wouldn't have met Sophie. You literally had nothing to do with that decision. I provided crucial moral support. You called me stupid for going. Supportive criticism, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely not a real thing. Sophie and I decide to move in together after dating for 8 solid months. Find a really nice 2-bedroom place, still in the same neighborhood area. You're deliberately staying near Veronica? She's my close friend. Plus, this whole area is actually nice. You've developed genuine emotional attachments to a geographic location. I've grown significantly as a person. It's weird and I don't like change. Moving day arrives, Veronica and Adrian help us move boxes and furniture. I can't believe you're leaving the building. I'm moving exactly 6 blocks away, you'll survive. It won't be the same without you directly across the hall. You have Adrian living with you now. True, but you're special. We're trauma bonded for life. That's the most romantic thing you've ever said to me. I genuinely mean it though. You're family now, chosen family. That actually makes me unexpectedly emotional. Your family too. Crazy metaphysical interests and all. We hug tightly, but both crying a little bit. New apartment is genuinely great. Way more space, better kitchen, actual proper closet space. Sophie sets up her professional design studio in the 2nd bedroom. I set up a dedicated home office for tax season preparation. We're disgustingly domestic now. Almost annoyingly so. I absolutely love it. Me too, completely. First dinner party in the new place. We invite absolutely everyone. Veronica, Adrian, Chris, Frank, some of Sophie's designer friends, some of my accounting coworkers. This is really nice. You've built an entire community. Started with a bizarre stalker situation, ended with found family. That's one way to make lasting friends. Not recommended, but it worked out well. 2 years after the initial incident, Derek gets released from prison. Veronica calls me immediately, bit panicking slightly. He's out. His ankle monitor shows he's at his mom's house across town, but he's actually out. He has strict no-contact orders. If he violates them, he goes straight back to prison. What if he tries something anyway? Then we immediately call the cops and he goes back. He'd be incredibly stupid to violate parole. He's not exactly known for intelligent decisions. That's a fair point. But you have support now. You're not alone at all. I know. Thank you for always being there. Call me immediately if anything happens, anytime, day or night. Derek stays completely away, totally away, no contact attempts. His parole officer keeps close tabs, no violations, no contact attempts, nothing. Maybe prison actually helped rehabilitate him? Or he finally realized the consequences aren't worth it. Either way, I'll take the peace. 3 years after moving into that apartment building, Life is completely unrecognizable. Got promoted again at work, now a manager with my own small team. Sophie's design business is absolutely thriving, working with major corporate clients. Veronica and Adrian got engaged, wedding planned for next spring. You're obviously going to be in the wedding party. Obviously, trauma bonding means automatic wedding party inclusion. That should definitely be printed on the invitation. Chris is seeing someone seriously, met her at a coffee shop. I'm learning about healthy relationships from watching you and Sophie. We're your relationship role models. Terrifying, but completely true. Frank retired from security work, travels with his wife now. Sends regular postcards from various exotic locations. I wish you were here. Actually, I'm glad you're not. This is my vacation. Classic Frank humor. Sophie and I start seriously looking at houses, talking concretely about marriage. Should we just get engaged? That's literally the least romantic proposal ever. I'm an accountant. Romance isn't my natural strong suit. Try again properly. I actually get down on one knee right there in our living room. Sophie, you make me genuinely happy. You support my weird friendships. You survived the stalker story without running. Will you marry me? Did you even buy a ring yet? It's in my sock drawer. I was planning this for next month but got impatient. Get the ring, then ask me again properly. I get the ring. It's absolutely perfect. Had it custom designed months ago. Okay, now propose correctly. Sophie, will you marry me? Yes? Obviously, yes. We're engaged. Tell everyone immediately. Veronica screams yet again. I'm the reason you two met! You introduced us one single time. That's all it took. She's impossible, but we love her dearly. Chris is shocked. You're getting married before me? I met someone, fell in love, now I'm engaged. That's how it works. This feels like betrayal. You're being dramatic. I'm allowed to be dramatic. My best friend is engaged. He's actually genuinely happy for me though. Planning 2 separate weddings, mine and Veronica's. We coordinate dates carefully so they don't conflict. Yours should be first, you got engaged first chronologically. But I found love through you, yours should be first. We're actually arguing about who gets married first. Adrian and Sophie are watching this absurdity. Should we intervene? No? This is genuinely entertaining. We eventually decide Veronica goes first since she's been engaged slightly longer. Her wedding is absolutely beautiful, crystals everywhere, very her aesthetic. I cast a protection spell over the entire venue. That's nice, dear. Adrian just accepts all her quirks completely. It's genuinely sweet. My wedding is 3 months later, smaller and more traditional. Veronica does tarot readings during the reception. It's not traditional, but whatever. Nothing about our friendship has been traditional. Extremely fair point. She reads cards for Sophie and me together. The cards say you'll have a long, happy marriage, probably kids, definitely prosperity. Or we'll work hard and make good, sensible choices. The cards say the same thing differently, if you insist. Married life is genuinely good, but bought a house, got a dog, living the suburban dream. Veronica and Adrian bought a house nearby, still see them regularly. She's pregnant now, due in 4 months. Can you believe I'm going to be a mom? Honestly, no, but you'll be amazing. I'm going to teach them about crystals and tarot. That kid's going to be wonderfully weird. The absolute best kind of weird. Chris finally gets engaged to his girlfriend. I'm last in our friend group. This is embarrassing. Better late than never. I blame you for setting unrealistic standards. I moved into an apartment and befriended a witch. That's not a replicable standard. It's definitely not. 5 years after the initial incident, sitting in our backyard, Sophie's pregnant with our first. Veronica's kid is 2 years old and adorable. Life is wonderfully full. Now, do you remember when you were terrified of me? I was never terrified, just concerned about mysterious gifts. You thought I was a dangerous stalker. You were leaving me anonymous presents and watching my schedule. I was being friendly. You had a very concerning way of showing friendliness. We laughed together. Everything's completely different now. I'm glad you didn't move away. I'm glad you were just weird and not actually dangerous. That could be my epitaph. Here lies Veronica, weird but not dangerous. Absolutely perfect. Life is genuinely good, found family, healthy relationships, real stability, all because I moved into an apartment and didn't run away when things got weird. Sometimes the absolute weirdest beginnings lead to the best outcomes. My face when weird gifts from my eccentric neighbor led to lifelong friendship. to meeting my wife, building a community, and learning that sometimes you have to survive chaos to find peace. That feeling when you realize all the strange and scary moments were actually leading you exactly where you needed to be.
Moved in for a fresh start, clean slate. Found a plant outside my door. Handmade pots, handed notes. Someone's watching, keeping score. Cookies, scarves, and paintings too. She won't tell me who she is. Turns out it's the crystal witch who had visions about my life. Then a dead bird showed up with a note that said stay away. Her psycho ex wants me gone. I just wanted peace and quiet. Got a stalker situation, tarot cards and death threats. This is not what I signed up for. Dead birds and restraining orders. Court dates with my neighbor. Somehow we became family. Frank the guard, Derek's in jail. Marcus slashed my car. Security cameras everywhere. Living life behind locked doors. Testified in court today. Jury said he's guilty. 2 years, but is that enough? When he gets out, will we be safe? Met someone at a crystal fair. Could set me up. Found love in the chaos. Built a family from the fear. Dead birds, dead birds, court dates, family. I just wanted peace and quiet. Got a stalker situation turned into something beautiful. Weddings, kids, and healing. Dead birds like a found family. Trauma bonding made us stronger. Sometimes chaos brings you home. 5 years later, living through weird beginnings, best endings. Grateful for the witch next door.